Hi, this is John Ondo for Marketing Media and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode. There are amazing, great strategies for social media, amazing, great strategies for marketing, but I think common sense trumps everything.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, media, and cupcakes.
I am John, and I own my own video production company, and with me is my wife, Angel. She has her own small cupcake business she does on the side, as well as she is a customer service rep for over 35 years for a major company. And you were just telling me about, and I knew you said you bought some Facebook ads for Angel's Custom Cupcakes, and you didn't. This is how well we communicate, because we don't talk about some of these things sometimes. So what happened? You said the Facebook ad came back at some stuff.
So I recently bought a Instagram ad.
Okay, it was Instagram.
So it was Instagram,
right?
and
Which is owned by Facebook.
So it all goes together.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to put a dollar limit. I posted some good old America, colored cupcakes, and said, hey, 4th of July is coming. Place your orders. And I literally am watching the analytics. I'm watching, people comment and whatever. No orders, mind you. Just a lot of, yep, looks good. Hey, it looks wonderful, which is fine. Yeah. And then I stopped, I went to go look at the analytics, which I didn't realize was a thing. And I noticed that I had, 80 something new this and 900 something new that or whatever.
Impressions, probably.
But then I got to this section that said, something basically of where are the people that are looking at your stuff. And the number one state, and remind you, I'm in Ohio, it was California. And the next one after that was something like, I don't know, Utah. And then there was New York, and literally nothing in Ohio. Like the top 5, nobody anywhere near me that I could do anything with. I don't ship, not there yet. Don't know that I would ever get there.
So when you got this ad, and again, I'm going to show a little of my ignorance. I've bought a lot of Facebook ads over my past few years. And I've been a little frustrated at times, because everybody who knows Facebook and loves it as much as I do, which I'm being sarcastic when I say that, knows that they change the system all the time when you buy ads or impressions or whatever it is, and it drives you nuts. And there's been many times where I've gone in and thought I've targeted an area or a demographic, and I go back later and it's not at all what I plugged into it at all. So on your Instagram, you bought it when you were going in through Instagram to say buy an ad kind of thing and all that?
Yeah, it was promotion. So I've got this little promotion here, and I went ahead and looked at it. I'm just pulling it up right here.
Okay.
And it says view insights. So it said interactions, 43 promotional clicks. John has taken my phone, so I cannot read anything anymore. There's 8. It says that I reached 884 people.
Right.
Whoopee! 86%, 88 were not following me. 86% came from your promotion. I only ran it for 3 days. It cost me $6. 86% were women, which is what I knew. But then when I started looking at the insights, the age range,
yeah.
which I expected
it says a
in
lot.
that demographic. But then look at the top, this top,
the states, California, Texas, Georgia. And so again, and again.
But nowhere when I set it up did it ask me any information
about location. So it was one of these pre-made, probably generic things. And again,
it said, hey, promote your stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure,
and
why
this
not?
Is the frustration that a lot of small businesses are getting with Facebook and with, don't even get me started on Google ads. It's a whole other thing. Where they'll say, hey, promote this, promote your thing. And they give you a generic, across the board kind of an ad setup where you can't customize it and say, hey, I only want people within 50 miles of my hometown to find this. So again, these are the frustrating things that a lot of small businesses are facing. So this is a good topic for us to talk about. And again, I'm not going to sit back and act like, you know, this is a lockdown, because the frustration, and as I'm looking, as I mentioned in previous episodes, I'm a big fan of the social media marketing podcast. I listen to those guys a lot, and Facebook is very quickly losing all of its momentum with marketers. Instagram, now granted, Instagram is owned by Facebook, and they are unfortunately probably going to end up being like Facebook in 5 years. But for right now, you, as we say, you ride the horse that brought you to the dance, or whatever they say. So, or you dance with the horse that brought you to the horse, or whatever. But here's the thing. Facebook is losing momentum. I don't think I have to explain to you why they're losing momentum. If you don't know why Facebook is losing momentum, you probably shouldn't be buying ads at all.
It's not worth mentioning.
Instagram and Instagram TV is the hottest new thing.
Instagram TV?
Instagram TV, see, and that's a fairly new thing. When you go on your Instagram, and this is huge for me. Now, again, we talk a lot about Angel's Cupcakes because I think cupcakes are far more interesting than what I do for a living, which is make film. But you got Instagram TV, so you got your IGTV, and it's up at it's at the top thing. So here's the big thing for those of us who do video for
Here I was
a living.
looking at it and didn't know.
See, and that's what I put our your little strawberry making cupcake thing. I put that on IGTV. So here's why this is the hottest thing, and I'm quoting a lot of this stuff from the Social Media Marketing Podcast because they were really big on this. But for those of you who understand the video concept with Instagram has a limited 60-second time limit to any video. It is also a square, which is also a problem because that means, for me, I shoot film, I shoot 16:9 and the way God meant it to be shot. And then Instagram puts it into a square, which means it's kind of good for me because that means I have to go back to my client to say, well, I have to charge you because you need a 16:9 for Facebook. You need a square version for Facebook maybe, and you'll need a square version for Instagram. But the Instagram television can also do 16:9, and there's also some people doing some insanely creative things that, quite honestly, I'm looking forward to playing with a little bit more, where they're doing square on square and completely different formats on Instagram TV. And Instagram TV can also go upwards, I think, of, I don't know if it's 28 minutes or 60 minutes. It's full broadcast length. So for those of us who do broadcast programs, and she's looking through all the cake videos now.
Sorry.
That's what she does.
Not that anybody knows.
Well, here's the thing, though. I produce maybe a 15-minute mini documentary or something like that. And, I can only put 1 minute of that on Instagram, on the typical feeds. But now I could put the first minute of that documentary on Instagram, on the standard Instagram feed. And then near the end of that 1 minute, it says, do you want to watch the full video?
Is that what that Watch More business is?
And it will seamlessly move you on to the full video.
Who knew?
So, and as of now, you can know this is going to change, but Instagram does not have ads, does not do a lot of the goofy things that Facebook and YouTube do, which I have just an immense amount of frustration with YouTube when I want to watch something right now and it says you have 15 seconds to watch through a soap ad or something like that. But so Instagram TV, I think, is going to be a great thing for some businesses to use. For me as a video guy, you betcha, this is a huge deal for me, and it presents all kinds of cool new ideas that I can present to my clients. Because I have to think outside the box and say, okay, say you want to do a cupcake video, maybe a how-to video. Well, if we want to design that for Instagram and Instagram TV, I could do some cool stuff where we do, instead of doing the standard, for lack of a better words, where it's a picture-in-picture, we could do the picture on top of a picture and get really creative because of how people view mobile. And so that makes it kind of cool when Instagram is only available on mobile. They can only watch it on certain types of ways on a phone versus YouTube, which you could view it on a phone, you could view it on a computer, you could view it on a big honking 8K television, at Best Buy. So YouTube is still to me a standard 16:9 cinematic media outlet. Very, very powerful. But Instagram is coming up with some cool stuff here. And, unfortunately, and I'll just be Mr. Negative here, because Facebook is running it, I'm just waiting for them to ruin it. It's going to happen at some point, because I'm going to sound really like a hippie here, but the corporate greedy people are going to ruin it, because they're going to make it all about the money. And if you and this is just what has happened with Facebook. That's what's happened with all of our social media platforms that we all love, is that we give away our own personal data to these people, and that's how we pay them. We don't pay for Facebook, we don't pay for Instagram, we don't pay for YouTube, but we give these people our personal data, and then they sell it. And that's the reason a lot of people are getting very, very excited about podcasts, because it's not edited. We aren't taking your data. Well, somebody probably is somewhere, but it's a different stream of income, if you will. So anyway, we've gotten way off the trail here from the original concept, but this talks about Instagram and why I like Instagram. But you also have to be very, very smart about what you buy on these ads, because they say, hey, promote this, click. You don't know where they're putting it or what they're doing with it. If it's hashtag related or any of those things. Now, do you do a lot of hashtagging on your?
I do none, and that could be, again, why I don't have too many
Could be part of your
followers,
problem.
because I don't know all the 50,000 hashtags and all the people that I follow that have these gorgeous cupcakes or cakes. When I go to actually click on like the more information, when I look at something, there are probably in some cases 20 hashtags following it, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know where this stuff ends up.
I hate to say it because it's true. I steal a lot of ideas. I borrow, I repurpose, maybe is a better way to say it.
Stealing is a bad word.
But
But
there's many, when I see successful posts for people, I look at their hashtags and I look at, okay, what did you hashtag this with? And, if there's 20, there's probably half of them are non-relatable to me. California, other brands that maybe don't connect to me at all. But there might be 5 or 6, and I'm like, ooh, I didn't know that one existed, or this and that. As a video guy, my hashtags are typically marketing, Columbus, Ohio, where we are, video, filmmaking, commercials.
what is honestly, what is the hashtag? I don't do Twitter. I don't have Twitter. I found Twitter to be painfully horrid when I downloaded it many years ago. And I'm like, I don't even understand this.
I still like Twitter.
Because it's just awful. So I don't get, where do these hashtags go? Where do they live? I mean, so if I created a hashtag Cupcakes Rock, where would somebody go find said hashtag? Where is it?
The best way I can explain this is it is a way for people to find you. So when it's hashtag, for example,
Yes, please.
During the Super Bowl, we were fairly new dating at that point. If you remember, I drug you to my favorite cigar lounge, where I was going to comment on all the Super Bowl commercials, because I was running a live blog kind of thing. And when Doritos ran their commercial, I would instantly say, "Love that commercial, it was great," and I would hashtag it Super SB49 commercials.
Yes, it was 5 days of specifically people. Just wanted to share.
Yeah. So the point was, I was hashtagging my commercial reviews of the Super Bowl with a specific hashtag that everybody else was using, and there's multiple ones. So that day, I was following all the hashtag SB49 commercial. So anybody tagged it, I would see it on my feed. So
But where is this feed?
Well, again, on Twitter, you can do a search.
So is it really more a Twitter thing? Is that where the hashtag?
You can do it really in anything, but Twitter is really where hashtag took off.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. That's where the whole
it's kind
hashtagging
of a search engine thing, and it's really it's a topic thing. So you're obviously hashtag cupcakes and hashtag baking or whatever, and it's a good way for people to understand, what your brand is. So for me, when I post something related, like I'm shooting a commercial for a client and I'm taking a little behind the scenes picture on my phone, it's like, hey, doing a great thing for my client here, hashtag, again, Columbus, Ohio, because I don't do a whole lot of, I do some regional, but I don't do a whole lot of national stuff. So basically Columbus, Ohio, I want people in Columbus, Ohio, maybe to hashtag businesses to see it. Small business, maybe it's a small business. I'll hashtag small business, hashtag, maybe it's a public service, maybe it's a charity or something.
So
I'll hashtag these.
So then I'm just asking because, as he said, I'm new to this. Should I be hashtagging Columbus, Ohio, or
Yes. Location is great. Hashtag cupcake, hashtag small business, hashtag.
So do I need a Twitter account?
Well, that's a good question.
Because
but you can hashtag on Instagram. You can hashtag on.
Well, I know I can put it out there, but then where do I go find it?
Well, you do your search. When you do a search, instead of doing a search like, for me, at John Ondo, which is a username with the at symbol, you do a search hashtag Columbus, Ohio.
So I go and hit my little spectacle guy.
Yeah, your little magnifying glass.
That's him.
And then do hashtag cupcakes or whatever you want to do.
Get out of the city. Hashtag
cupcake.
Cupcake.
And anybody with a hashtag for cupcakes will show up there.
Oh my goodness. What is happening?
So here's the...
Cupcake Gemma. Love you, Cupcake Gemma. You'll never hear this, but I have to say it anyway.
Well, here's the thing, though. As I started, and this is a great way for those of you who are starting your own businesses and you're not sure how to do this, this is a great way to start your Instagram feed. So social media, I have one for I have an Ondo Media, I have a John Ondo, you have an Angel Custom Cupcake, but we started this podcast. We created, obviously, a Marketing Media Cupcakes, and please follow us on there on Instagram. And it's hard for people to just start following you. If the likelihood of somebody just randomly finding our blog is pretty low when we're starting. So I hashtag cupcake search, and I just started liking people who I thought had pretty cool little cupcake things.
Okay, I'm getting it. I'm feeling it.
And they follow us back, and I follow them because it's kind of like, it's literally like going to a big party and saying, hi, my name is John. We have a podcast. Hi, my name is Amy, and I have a thing. Okay, great. Let's be friends. And that's what we're kind of doing. So hashtags make that possible. So a lot of the hashtags we've been doing on media or Marketing Media and Cupcakes have been cupcake hashtags because, let's face it, I think people are more interested in your cupcakes than seeing my Canon C100 Mark II camera. But there's some people out there who are big in the media, and as we do more of it, maybe we'll say, hey, John, would you show us what your setup is in your editing suite? And I would love to because I'm a geek. So, but this is how you do that. So we'll hashtag and show things. And what we're hoping in our brand, so we're kind of explaining our brand, so it'll help your brand is, you'll see pictures of us doing cupcakes. You'll see pictures of us hanging out together. You'll see pictures of us, pictures of me doing my media production work, because really what you're doing is you're following us. And again, let's use something everybody knows about, Chip and Joanna.
Oh, Magnolia Bakery.
Okay, so but bakery. But let's face it, Chip and Joanna are.
Oh well, they're house restoration.
And he's the cool. I got my tools and I tear down things, and she's got the interior design and makes those kitchens and everything else. So even though they do totally two different things, you follow them as a couple. So that's kind of the direction of Marketing Media and Cupcakes, is that we're two small business owners. We do kind of different things, but we're kind of using our mutual understanding of media, marketing, and common sense and those kind of things together. So that's how you can use Instagram. I can tell you're very excited about it now, aren't you?
Well, I'm laughing because I do little hashtags at work with my friend who loves hashtags, and so I was
Jamie.
Actually, not Jamie, Susie, and
Susie.
She was talking about being at Universal and standing in line for an hour and a half to ride Hagrid, the new ride at the Harry Potter thing. And I said, I would not stand in line anymore. The anxiety of whether I would fit. And then I put in the text back to her, hashtag thick thighs, wide ass. And she thought that was fantastic, but again, it's
Well, you see, and hashtags are like that too. There are what I call legitimate search engine hashtags. Okay, so again, small business, hashtag your hometown. But there's also times where you do hashtags that are just like, you're frustrated in line. So you do the hashtag frustrated in line, and it just kind of tells everybody what you're thinking,
But do people give a hang what I'm thinking, really? That's, I guess, the problem I have.
Well,
do people care?
I think I do. Well, here's the thing that we say all the time, and I talk about this about church, and I talk about this with nonprofits. it's all about building relationships. So although I may not care what Joe Schmo in Instagram land cares about because I don't have a relationship with them, but I do care about my friends. And you have friends on Instagram, I have friends. And I do think when somebody says, hey, well, I did this today. I've a guy I know. I wouldn't say he's a friend. We both have production companies here in town, and his son is doing his Eagle Scout project. I have a son who's in Boy Scouts. They're doing a fundraiser, and I sent him $20, to help him for this fundraiser. Why? Because it's the right thing to do, and I know him, and he's a good guy, and and I want to support people like that. So long story short, there's a relationship there, and and I think the one thing I think you'll find about what we'll say here on our podcast, and we've said a lot, is there are amazing great strategies for social media, amazing great strategies for marketing, but I think common sense trumps everything. It's your ability to say, I'm going to build a relationship with my clients, and for people who have have ordered your cupcakes and then go out and immediately you start getting a call from somebody, hey, Joan just told me about your cupcakes you made for her and I would like to order some. That says more to me than anything in social media. So again, one of the things we really emphasize here is you just got to be good at what you do. And the thing we also make a big deal about is if you are like us, we are in the just over the 50 age range, but we are passionate about what we do. We want to retire, but we're really never going to. Matter of fact, our joke is we say all the time, we're retired, we're just still working. And that's,
well, he's retired and still working. I'm not retired yet. I have a sign on my desk.
Well, I know, but the whole point of it is that we don't really want to ever retire. I don't ever say there'll be a day that I'll sit back and say, I'm done and I'm just going to sit and watch the grass grow. I want to always be consulting. I always want to be working and helping people. So do you. I think you will make cupcakes until your last day on this planet. And I think that's awesome because I do think we all have a purpose in life. We have a gift. And one of the things we will be very much advocates for on this podcast is just because you're over 40, because you're over 50, because you're over 60, that you are not valid anymore. And because you think millennials or Generation Z, because they know more about digital, they know more about marketing. I'm sorry, I don't agree. I think our generation, because we live pre-digital, understands relationships better, and that means we understand social media better than anyone else. And I think that's something I think you can hang your hat on. So for those of you who are there and like, oh, I'd like to start a small business, but I don't know how my iPhone works, or I don't know how to do Instagram or hashtags, it's okay. We understand relationships, and even though we roll our eyes sometimes now because we've gotten a little older and think, these kids and their crazy little... But we do understand relationships, and that's what it's all about. So I think it's a very, very powerful thing for us to understand, because the younger generation that we often look at as being the geniuses at this, quite honestly, are not. They don't know how to build relationships. They don't know how to make eye contact. They don't know these things. And I'm not putting them down. I'm saying we need to be the teachers of relationships with this generation. So I know I went off on a sermon. I know you're looking at me like, here he goes again. And I can look at the waveform on our recording and say, look at this huge chunk that John's just taken up. But I'm very passionate about it. I think that's very true.
My only comment is, sadly, as we say every day at work, not everybody has common sense. So that is sadly in the customer service world.
Yes.
When John said use common sense, oh, but people don't have it. And I won't elaborate into the thousands of ways I can explain to you how people do not have common sense, because we're all different and we all think differently and we all feel differently. So I've kind of stricken that statement from my vernacular and how I approach people, simply in a customer service space and in a training environment, because I would say, as my boss will say to me all the time, well, shouldn't that be common sense? And I'm like, the unfortunate reality is those individuals that I'm training or providing information to do not have the 25, 26, hers 30, 35 years of experience. They don't remember a time when a computer didn't have a mouse, when there was such a thing
DOS.
as Windows was a thing, was not a thing when I started where I worked.
Sure.
And these kids don't know, and I say kids, they don't know a world without it. So they don't have the background that we have. So they don't have the common sense.
But you're making my case for me in the sense that, now granted, I'm not going to sit back and say corporate America will say absolutely, and let's continue to have our 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds lead the pack, because we all know they're downsizing, they're getting rid of us. But again, I say this to you, for those of you who are listening, who are in that, maybe you're starting your small business, you're trying to figure out if do I need to make the plunge? I made the plunge 10 years ago. I got out of a full-time job with benefits and everything else, probably pretty stupid, but I wanted to start my business because I knew I could not complete what I wanted to do working for somebody else, because they didn't understand the vision that I have. On the flip side, so I think there's really a place for those of you who are listening and thinking, I know I've got a skill set, I know I can teach these things to younger people. Then you might be a consultant. Then you may be a trainer, you may be somebody who can bring these things to a younger person, because I tell my kids all the time, my oldest is going to be a senior this year, if you can shake a hand and you can make eye contact, and she's already tearing it up working at Chick-fil-A, but she's doing custom, because she's good at relationships. And I've told my kids, if you can shake a hand and make eye contact, you will probably end up running the world, because I don't think most kids understand that. And unfortunately, a lot of parents have not taught that because they haven't learned it. So for those of you listening, and again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you've got a small business, this is why this is so much bigger than just cupcakes and media. Do not sell yourself as, I'm retiring, I can't work my phone, I don't understand WordPress. Who cares? I'm dead serious when I say that. You have a skill set that this generation doesn't have, which is you can shake hands, you can build a relationship, you can listen. Another thing this generation has not embraced is listening to clients. And it's amazing. It means a lot to me when I have a client says, John listens to me. We came in with an idea of doing a video, and I listened to him, and then what he gave us was different, but it was perfect. And I'm like, because I knew what you needed, and I got there. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. And again, if you want to comment, give us your thoughts. We want to be we would like to be an inspirational podcast. We want to encourage you, because we think everybody has a purpose and a direction they should go in their life, and you've got a skill set. And just because maybe you didn't understand hashtags, but this is simple now. Look how excited you are!
I cannot go wait to hashtag everything.
Yeah, she's gonna hashtag everything now. So look for Angel hashtagging everything. Look for us on Marketing Media and Cupcakes on Instagram and also on Facebook. We're not anywhere else. I'm only focused on those two social media things. If you tell me that I'm stupid, please tell me why I'm stupid, but I'm only focusing on those two right now because that's all I have time for. And if you want to give us a comment, if you want to record us a message, we'll put it on. I don't care. We just want to find out what you would like to know and talk with us, and we'd like to hear what you've learned on your journey in your small business. So those are all the things we do, and we're so glad you're with us. And share this with friends and let us know how we can help you.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram, and let us know your thoughts. Marketing Media and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.